people like riding scooters as an adult, that'll never be cool. That will never ever be cool. When I see that, I instantly think Schmeagol.
Massive Schmeag energy. And also, like, the only time it's really appropriate, in my opinion, to electric scooter around is, like, if you're a tourist. Like, that's the only really... Because, like, if you're a tourist, like, you get certain, like, giveaways in terms of, like, behaviour.
You get leeway. Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, if you're a tourist, like, you don't know where you're going. You're a bit like...
You're all over the shop. And you don't know anyone either, so you don't care.
Yeah, but you do things that you wouldn't usually do.
Yeah.
And, like... stuff that locals would be like, oh, it's a bit cringe, or a bit like,
Yeah.
And I always think about that when I think about electric scooters, because that's the only time I think it's really appropriate to ride them.
Yeah, I saw someone bring one into the pub yesterday, and I was like, "Would you just come off the Pacific Highway?"
Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's so bizarre.
But like, the worst is like people who have like stickers on their electric scooters.
Oh yeah,
like, they've like customized them a bit. Like they put stickers and like colored bits on it. And they're like, you're just like, no, no, don't do that.
No, it's not cool.
No, it's not. Your van sticker on your electric scooter does not make it cooler, dude.
You virgin.
You fucking idiot. Oh, that grinds my gears now that you brought it up. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, bringing them into like a pub as well, it's like poor etiquette. And like, there's a reason they have bike racks and not scooter racks.
Yeah,
because scooters are lame.
Scooters are lame.
Scooters are fucking lame, and that's literally society telling you to not buy one, because it's like we're not accepting enough of the scooter.
Yeah,
electric scooters to
Well, it's almost transcended from like not liking scooter kids in high school. You know how that was always a thing, like not like the scooter kids are always not as cool as the skater kids.
Yeah,
and it stood the test of time.
Yeah, I think so.
Look, the council's he's run his eye over it and he's gone, we're not putting scooter racks in, dude.
It's just not happening.
It's not going to happen.
It's not happening.
Get a push bike like the rest of us,
or an electric bike.
Yeah, sure.
Electric bike's fine.
Anything.
Yeah, not a scooter. I would have more respect if you were riding an actual scooter than like an electric scooter.
Like a Razor scooter?
Yeah. If I saw someone with a Razor scooter now, I think I would be more like, nice.
I don't think I'd be that impressed if I saw someone riding a Razor scooter.
But I would be more impressed than if I saw someone with like, an e-scooter. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy to go with that.
People used to be like, yeah, I got these new wheels. Like, people be like, yeah, I got new wheels on my scooter and stuff. And you're like, what does that mean? Yeah, I got these new bearings. I got these new bearings so I can do tricks and like why you can't do a trick to begin with. Like, just
you gonna ride faster, dude?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Famously anti-scooter on this podcast.
Well, from now on.
Yeah, from here on out. We'll put our foot down 2 feet in the ground.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Marshall gets away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
All right, what's up, nerds? Welcome back to the Barflies podcast, episode 58 today, joined always by my good friend and comrade, Alexander Russell.
Hello.
While I just get up to shut this door to stop the echo. How are you, mate?
I'm great. I'm actually great. I've really been enjoying the last couple of days. The sun is out and therefore about, and so are the people. So it's been nice seeing things like proper. It felt like real summer last couple of days. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I was at work on Sunday, and at Shelley Beach, and it was 10 a.m. and there was just people everywhere along the Shelley Bower. But it was also as nice as I've ever seen it. Like, it's like crystal clear, just like very picturesque. The beach was pumping that day. There was a bunch of like, I don't know, just like internationals. They would have been like European, South American stuff. That the slack line out on the trees. And they had like a party. There was like people like partying there.
Yeah.
And it was like, it actually looked like a lot of fun, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I was upstairs working a very chill event. Downstairs in the cafe, it was going off.
The 26-degree weather,
Froth that.
Northern Beaches wise, you guys are. You can't get better weather than
That's
that.
game on.
You're getting a nice ocean breeze. You go for a swim. You're out late.
I went for a swim after
You're
work.
having beers at like 7:30 with a t-shirt on, and you're like, "Let's go, dude."
Let's do this.
Inner West, it's still good, but you're starting to flirt with, all right, this is pretty hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 20. That's starting to get to the tipping point. But mate, no qualms from me. It's good. Summer's back.
I know. I was pumped. I was absolutely pumped. I actually 26 degrees, 26 to like. This is going to sound pretty generic, but I actually like quite hot weather. But it was good because it was dry. Humidity, care less for, but like it was dry.
Yeah.
If it's like 26 to like 31 and it's dry, even 32, 33, don't hate it.
Yeah.
I'm so in.
Yeah.
I'm so in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. The humidity makes it sticky.
Oh, it's just that kind of makes it a bit unbearable.
You feel, clammy.
Yeah.
You know when you feel clammy?
I'm not a sweater. I'm not a sweat. I'm not
A sweaty boy?
No, not like a big sweat guy. But even when it's like that, I feel like I start getting a bit like clammy.
Yeah.
Which is when I'm like, yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I think I'm the same. I'm notoriously not a person who sweats.
not
unless
not a perspiration
I'm
person.
not a perspirator of note.
Yeah.
PP,
perspiration person.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a perspiration person.
Yeah.
If I was playing, a pretty fast-paced match of six-a-side on a humid Wednesday night,
Oh,
the drops might start falling.
couple buckets. Yeah.
Yeah. But up until then, I'm pretty all right.
Yeah.
I've recently made the transition to roll-on deodorant.
I actually always use roll-on deodorant.
Dude, when did this?
Unless
everyone
it runs out and I use someone else's spray.
I've brought this up to a few people, and everyone around me uses roll-on. Did I miss the memo at some point? When did everyone switch?
I think it's just like more effective and better for you. Because I think the spray obviously has like the aerosol in it and stuff.
No, it definitely seems worse for you.
And then the roll-ons, but the roll-ons also just like, I think it's just better.
I've always
It's just better.
I've always found the spray to be very effective for me personally. It's worked well for me.
But I don't know the science behind it. I've just heard it's better for you and it lasts longer.
Okay.
And also, people can't use it as much. Like someone's not going to come in your room and steal your roll-on.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's more of like, because running out of deodorant is like, it happens a lot. And sometimes you just forget to go and get new ones. You're like, I'm just going to go and steal whoever's in your house. I'll just use it quickly.
That's one of those things, isn't it? You're like, my deodorant's running out. But as soon as you've sprayed it and put back down, that thought is out of your mind.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
And then you get to the end.
because it's one of the first things you do in the morning when you wake up.
Exactly.
So it's not like when you get to like the end of the day and you're like, okay, what do I need to do today? It's kind of like, you're not going to remember that. 'cause
that
it
thought
happened
has
straight
escaped
away.
you.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's exactly what happened to me. I ran out and I had roll-on in my drawer. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just use this. And, it did a job. And I've kind of like had the aerosol thing in the back of my mind for a while, being like, this can't be that great for me.
No.
Granted, I probably do worse things to my body, but I thought that, now's the time to hang up the metaphorical boots
Yeah.
that are the Rexona spray.
Yeah,
And, I tip my hat to the Rexona spray.
ditch it.
It's done me well
Ditch it.
for the last decade or so.
Mate, roll-on deodorant's in. It's very in right now.
We always had this at Narrabeen. We had there was one spray deodorant just like hanging out, sometimes just like in the workplace for when you need it.
I actually rate that so much.
I rate it too.
Because people need it. Like either you have put it on in the morning and it gets a bit stanky all of a sudden.
Yeah, you go for a swim, it washes off, you go straight to work.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah. Or like even like you're mid shift and you're like, I think I need a bit.
Yeah.
We had one for a while, but then they stopped doing it. But I thought it was a great idea.
Ours was a women's one in a largely
Women's deodorant smells fantastic.
I know. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's like
Yeah.
these florally notes.
I
Following me around,
I like it. Apparently, it's not as effective, but
Well, what's that based on?
like science, I don't know. I just heard that as well. To be honest, I've got no backup for any of this science. This is just things I've heard. Like this is genuine speculation of things I've heard.
Well, I'd like to see your bibliography so far.
Yeah. This is not like It's I've just heard it's not as effective, but it definitely smells better. Yeah,
Well, you can lock that in.
yeah. I can
Those florally, like I said, those
because it'd be a
the notes
Hawaiian
of, like,
lavender. Or
yeah,
something.
lavender?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, why do guys' deodorant have to smell like guy smells? Like,
Maybe we should just switch to women's deodorant.
yeah.
I might do that.
I'm not
I might
ruling
buy a women's roll-on next time I go to the
Look,
next
I'm
time I go to the
I'm
store.
not ruling it out. I'm not ruling it
Well,
out.
let's not rule it out. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Weekend was fun. Friday, I've kind of been working a lot actually this week, which has been nice. But I did a tasty double shift at work.
Well, that's
I
a
just
test
did
of character.
I did a cheeky 16-hour shift, so that was good. I was wearing Vans the whole time, however, so my feet, I felt fine. Every other part of me felt pretty good. However, my feet were just like going.
The underside, the
Yeah,
bottom.
we're just going. You're
Help me.
you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You know. So
What was the thought process behind that, if any?
they're usually just like they've just been my shoe of choice at work, but I need to get a new new pair of something. But yeah, they weren't really great for that. But yeah, other than that, Saturday, Dan that you met
Yep.
at Ed's and stuff party, going to Canada with another person from our group, Seamus. So they're going for like 6 months or whatever for the season. So we had a farewell for them. I had all these free drinks at home that I got from work, like wines and beers and stuff. So I was like, okay, good opportunity to, one, save some money, two, clear some room. Because there was heaps. So
Yeah.
I had a milk crate handy at home. I packed it up and took them there.
Nice.
Yeah. So
How was the actual party?
yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Yeah, was it just like a
But-
house party? Or?
Yeah, the nickname, his place is like nicknamed Penthouse Ferrari.
Oh, true.
And it was fantastic. He's got a pool, great view, great place, great vibes, good times. Yep.
Nice.
That's all it is. So that was a good way to, good time. And then, yeah, Sunday, cruisy shift, went for a swim after work, got a cheeky Indian last night. So that was good. It was pretty low key.
Nice.
Pretty low key. You?
Nice. I had a really good weekend.
You did have a good weekend.
I had a really good weekend. Thursday night, I saw, I saw Parcels.
You do like your parcels.
Notoriously one of my favorite bands. Kind of like, hadn't been listening to them as much, but I was super pumped for this either way. Do you know what?
What?
When they walked on stage the other night, I started crying.
No, you didn't.
I'm not joking.
You like genuine tears.
Tears came out, like I was literally crying. Like they came on and I
Haven't you seen them like 5 times?
I've never seen them.
That was the first time you've seen them.
First time I've seen them.
Damn.
Dude, they live in Europe.
Yeah, right. Are they European?
Nah, they're from Byron.
So it was a big moment for you.
It was. I didn't like it. It didn't going in. I wasn't even really thinking about it. Like I said, I hadn't been listening to them much lately.
I thought
just-
you'd seen them like 5 times.
No, I've never
okay.
seen them before.
Right.
And when they came on, I don't know. I guess I just was like so happy.
Overwhelmed.
I was literally just so happy.
Damn.
I haven't cried in like 3 years either, and that's what brought me to my
And
knees.
so you were like, "What's going on?"
dude, literally they came out and I was like, I like covered my mouth. I was like, oh, am I about to cry? I was like, no, I'm good. And I was like, no, I'm gonna cry.
You know, that you got the same style of hysteria that like Bieber mania and like Beatlemania. That's what literally happened to you. You
Yeah.
got parcel fever.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I wasn't screaming like a 9-year-old girl though. Well,
Wait, let me just flashback. Quick flashback to when I was at the show.
dude, it was fucking awesome.
But it was great. Was it a big? Where did they play? What?
Enmore.
Okay. Pretty. Is that like a big? I've never been there before. Is that a
You've
big?
never been to the Enmore Theatre?
Never. No.
What?
Is that a big space?
Have you been to the Horden?
No.
Have you been to the Metro?
No.
Okay.
I've only heard you discuss them.
The Enmore is like one of the best music venues in Sydney. It's just like a really big old style theatre. It's got seating up top for maybe like 100 people, and then down on the bottom you could maybe fit like 1,000. So it's pretty small.
Right.
Maybe more than 1,000. It's hard to gauge that.
Okay.
It was so good. Like everyone who went just had like even people who weren't that into them just had like the best time.
Cool.
But
Yeah,
it was
right.
I was talking to Jared about it as well, and we were both like, that was genuinely one of the best gigs I've ever been to. You would have even loved it. It was so good.
Who did you go with?
So it was me, Kate, Jared, Blav, Jodes, Chelsea,
Right. The crew.
Victor. There was like 10 of us.
Victor.
Yeah, Victor. Blav's roommate.
Have I met Victor?
I don't know. You'd really like him. Anyway, that's by the by. Let's not bore the listeners with the logistics of the crew.
But you had a good time.
It was
nonetheless.
genuinely the best gig I've ever been to. Like you could tell the sort of the influence that they brought from like living
Europe.
in Europe, and like
They'd stepped it up a
there
lot.
was so much like techno and like
Really?
yeah, they literally opened the show and it was like just 20 minutes of like techno. It was
That's kind of sick, actually.
you genuinely would. EJ came, he loved it.
Damn, maybe I should start listening to them.
Kane
more.
was there.
I've only listened to a couple of their songs because you and Jared said to listen
Yeah.
to them. So I've listened to a few, but like I don't have them on my
Yeah,
any playlist.
I feel
or
like you'd like
anything.
them. They're just like disco funk. They're awesome. It's
Yeah,
super
right.
easy to listen to.
Okay.
So that was so good. I
Well,
was
you have-
bathing in that glory for a
Well, you
while.
do have like 2 posters of them in your room.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
It's no secret. Friday, I talked my manager into giving me the day shift. So I clocked off at 5,
Lovely.
played a bit. Jared and D'Lo came in, and Tully played a bit of pool.
Nice.
And then obviously D'Lo's band Mac the Knife were playing that night, doing their single launch for Labour in Vain, as discussed a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
So that was really cool.
Where was that show?
That was at. Do you know where Fruit Bowl is?
Is that the one where they do those like the tech event, the
Yeah.
Fruit Bowl tech events?
Yeah, so
I've
it's
not
like-
been. It's in on the other side of Sydney Park.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it's such a weird. It's like a warehouse space. It doesn't feel like a warehouse when I say warehouse, but that's the only way I can think to describe it.
Right.
It's just like 3 kind of really large rooms with not much in there, and a bar with like 2 taps or 4 taps of beer or something.
Right. So it's
So
kind of
really
like it's like a versatile
Versatile
like,
area.
versatile like space because
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of different kind of things.
Yeah, when Fruit Bowl's on, or the one I went to, they did it in this kind of like really long, skinny room, but the gig was in kind of like a square room
Interesting.
in the other side, and there was heaps of us there, which was cool. And it was awesome. The boys all seemed like they had a good time. I spoke to D'Lo and Bryn both after the show, and they both were really stoked
Stoked.
with how it went.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it went well.
And
Well,
I went to
you-
a party afterwards.
Yeah, the Halloween
The
party.
Halloween party. Die Halloween party.
So who talked me through costumes? Best costumes you saw? Who are you? Etc.
I went as Marty McFly.
Did anyone go as the Doc?
No, it was
See-
kind of like a last minute decision
Right.
because I was like looking up kind of like I didn't want to go full try hard with my outfit. Obviously, I just wanted to find a kind of good middle ground where like it was pretty easy. Everyone would know who I was,
And you still
like,
looked
I would
okay.
kind of look pretty steezy.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, I settled on Marty McFly because Kate has a red vest, so that was kind of the crux of my outfit. I was like, I'll wear Kate's vest, and I'm home pretty much. Couldn't get my
white shoes.
white shoes, denim pants, pretty easy, you know. And couldn't get my hands on a denim vest, so that kind of like crippled my outfit a little bit. Got plenty of you just dressed as yourself all night. But then Bryn, God bless him, when I was talking to him after the gig, he was like, "Oh, dude, Marty McFly," and I was like, "Thank you, dude."
Yes. Yes.
Go.
Nice.
Blav, I would have to say, was best on ground.
His costume, I wasn't there, but I did see a photo and I thought it was quite good.
Well, he was Guy Fieri. He has frosted tips, so he's already home.
He's
Anyway.
he's worked with what he's got. He's
Yeah.
he's done like a bit of a SWOT analysis and he's
Yeah.
figured out that this is the way
How
to
do
go.
how do I use my own assets here to the best of my
Yeah.
ability? And Jared had
Had the flame
for him.
shirt.
So he's home. He didn't have to
Yeah.
do anything.
I'm surprised Jared let him use that flame shirt. That's like prized possession of
Is
his.
it?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
nice of
actually like kind of shocked that he let him wear it.
Um,
Because that shirt is like every time that shirt gets worn, everyone goes, "Oh, that's such a cool shirt."
yeah, right.
Because it's like, because
It's
you've
iconic.
seen it. It's iconic shirt.
It's iconic. Everyone was just great. Their house is fucking awesome.
The
The
Billy's
girls,
house and that. Yeah.
their house is awesome. Or the girls and boys.
Mm.
The cops came in. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if someone let them into the house. They must have. But they came into the backyard where the decks were and like made us turn the music off. And it was funny. Kirsty was like talking to the cops when the music was off. We were like, what was going on? And then she turned around and was like, it's not a costume, they're cops. And we were all like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
And the music got moved inside, and I feel like everyone who was outside kind of just stayed out there anyway.
Yeah, right.
Um,
What time was that at?
no idea. 11 or 12:30 maybe. 12:30, fair enough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
We were, I mean, on paper, it was after 12. We were breaking the rules.
It probably would have been pretty loud as well.
yeah, but taking the music inside would not have helped the neighbours sleep all that
No.
much, I can't imagine. So that was kind of a fuck you to them.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a neighbour and there's music playing at a party, like, yeah, I guess if you're cranky, you're going to ask them, you're going to call the cops anyway. But like, yeah, it would have been so loud regardless.
Yeah.
Like, you're not sleeping anyway.
It's a party.
Yeah. It's Halloween, dude.
Get over
Like
it.
one weekend, get over it. you know?
Well, on the note of Halloween, I have been talking to discussing Halloween with different people this week. I'm engaging what people think on it, etc. I reckon Halloween's kind of dead. I care less about Halloween, if I'm being totally honest.
Is that just a you thing?
I just think COVID has killed Halloween. Like I had limited interest in Halloween before, and now that there's been none Halloween for like 2-3 years, it has decreased to pretty much zero.
I'm never like that pumped about it. It's just another weekend where you'll probably go to a party instead of an event or the pub.
But I mean, like, I just can't get. I just find it hard to get around Halloween.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm the same.
Like
I'm not fast.
I enjoy costume parties, but I just for Halloween I just could care less.
Do you think it's one of those things like similar to New Year's where the expectations are like high?
Kind of.
So you're you're going to be not disappointed, but like, you know what I mean?
It never reaches the heights that you wish it would.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm the same as you. I'm nonchalant. Could care less. If I had to go to that party not dressed up, I would have done it. Like, I'm not fast.
And I was talking to this person at my work who's American, and she was saying like she carved a pumpkin and stuff, and she's just going, yeah, it's like nothing here, like no one really cares. I said, I think it's just like pockets. Like some people like it and like put decorations up and stuff, but
I will say this.
my dad used to love it. He used to always put decorations, like go hard. He used to like put like effort into it.
Yeah, we did that when we were growing up, to be
Like
fair.
on the house. Like
Yeah.
he would do it. I like Christmas lights and stuff. Like I rate that, but like Halloween, I can't really.
Yeah.
What is it?
Seems. I actually did really want to carve a pumpkin this year. I've never done it before. It looks fun.
Yeah. See, I couldn't. It doesn't.
Not bothered?
Not bothered.
I guess
doesn't
it's kind of like a little art project, which is like kind of up my alley,
it? Yeah.
more so than yours.
Well, yes. Yeah, I guess so.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm also like,
I would take the time to do something silly like carve a pumpkin, whereas you may not.
I just don't have any interest in Halloween. Like I don't even think. Like I remember there was a couple. Like someone even didn't come to the house. We had a whole. No one came. I was like, well, is it dead? Does Halloween exist anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the kids love it though.
Yeah, but kids love. But like you love it when you're a kid though. But then as soon as you kind of like get a bit older, you're just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's a natural discourse, I
Yeah.
think.
But I guess the only good thing about it is you're right. There is like a party on usually.
Kane and I were just discussing actually before you got here whether it was worth us putting a bowl of lollies out the front because EJ is probably just going to eat them all.
Yeah. That's true. But no, I mean,
Like
if you want to.
if me and Kane were going to put a bowl of lollies out, would we also have to buy EJ some lollies
I
so he
think
doesn't eat the ones from
I
the
think
front
you
door?
should get EJ some lollies. I think he would appreciate that.
Halloween's EJ's day.
Yeah, EJ would love Halloween. EJ probably still trick or treats.
Yeah. Where's EJ on Monday night? Dude? Wait, is Halloween today? Oh, it is.
It is today.
Oh, it's full today.
It is today.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, care less about Halloween if I'm being completely honest.
I'm guessing you didn't dress up then.
Not really.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
Well,
bad.
you know,
Yeah,
I had a good time.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, if there's a
Dude,
party on, I'll
work was
go.
fucking dead on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, no one came in. Like
Really?
one of the deadest days I've worked since I started there.
I guess that just happens. Like
Everyone was at
even when
parties,
you-
I guess.
But even when you like go out some weekends, like everyone's just dead. Like some weekends, just no one's out.
It's bizarre, isn't
And
it?
then some weekends, like everyone's out. You
Yeah.
just never know.
Can't pick it.
You can't be like I remember even like in Manly sometimes, like You could go some weekends and it's like, for no reason, it is just hectically busy. And there's just people everywhere. And then you could go other weekends and it'll be like a Saturday night, Friday night, and there's no one there. And you're like, oh, what? And it just like sometimes I think just
One of those things.
one of those things, mate. You can't predict it.
Should we get into some of these notes?
We got plenty of notes. I reckon we rip into these. One of these notes got brought to my attention on Saturday. I had not heard this before. I was wondering if you had.
Do we need to give a viewer discretion here?
A bit of a viewer discretion. This, okay. So this, I heard this from someone. I reckon it's a load of bollocks. It's a load of shit, pardon the pun for what's about to come. But one of our friends, Tully, reckons that he can do a poo and know when to not wipe. That he doesn't, and know that he doesn't have to wipe sometimes.
Does he still do the wipe?
No, he doesn't. He reckons he can just pick up the strides straight away, wash the hands and walk out the toilet. He reckons he knows that it's a no wipe poo. He reckons he knows. He knows. And I just reckon it's not possible, and it's nah.
You reckon it's not possible to do or not possible to know that it's been done?
I reckon it's possible to do, but it's not possible to like know when you've done it.
Okay.
Because I'll hear your rebuttal to me saying it's just cat, like no way.
Okay.
I'll hear your rebuttal, and then I'll give you my rebuttal to that.
Okay. So I'll say this. I know not everyone is blessed with, the ability to do a no wipe poo. Because I've had this discussion with people before.
But have you heard about this before? I told you.
Not someone just knowing that they've done one and getting up and walking out. Because I do one like maybe 1 in 3 or 1 in 4.
What?
Yeah. So I'll wipe and there'll be nothing there.
Like rabbit droppings.
Kinda, I guess.
Yeah, anyway.
But like I'll take a shit. Excuse. I hate to be so crude.
Obtuse.
I'll do a poo and you can kind of feel it. You can kind of feel you're like, I'm good here. But I will always wipe just in case. But sometimes I'll wipe and it'll be clean and I'll just get straight up.
See, okay. That has also happened to me, but I just don't. This is my thought on this. I can't. Maybe we're going to spend about 10 minutes talking about this, but here we go. So my thought is for him to know, right, that he's indeed done no wipe poo. Do you know how much trial and error would have to go into that to know?
No,
wait. Think of how many times that he would have done it and then went, I think I've done it, pulled up his strides, and then maybe 10 minutes later, he's looked down again and he's went, oh no, I've got it wrong. I've misread the situation here. That's what I'm thinking about. So if he has or hasn't done it, that means that the amount of times that he might have walked away from the toilet,
Can I rebuttal you
Go.
again? I don't think it's trial and error the way you're thinking. Because growing up, like I said, I've been doing this for years. Growing up, and like I said, happens every 3 or 4, you can kind of tell. So Tully probably, and we'd have to call him up and get the lowdown. But my thing would be Tully's grown up, and he's the same as me. He's got kind of a vibe of when it's a no wipe poo. But he still would have wiped.
Should we call him now?
We could call him. Can I just say though, before we call him, I reckon he's grown up and he's got a vibe of like, okay, this could be it, and he's wiped and it's been good. And then he's just got more and more confident of like, okay, I'm just going to get straight up this time. Like, I reckon this has been building for years, and he got to a point at like maybe 18.
But there's still trial and error there.
Yeah, but the trial and error isn't risky because you're still wiping. You're still wiping. Then you get to the point where you're so confident you know it's one, and you don't have to do it anymore. I back him.
I just don't. I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. I can't back him.
Should we call him?
Give him a ring.
I've got my phone here. I don't know if I have his number. Let me see.
He's actually like probably at work doing a real job right now.
No, he's been working from home heaps. I'll call him. See if he answers.
Hope he answers.
Bastard.
All right.
Bastard.
Oi, to Remains to be seen.
To be confirmed. Maybe next week we'll give him a heads up. Say, mate, we're going to call you about 2 p.m. Can you answer? We got
Yeah. Well, you'll have D'Lo next week, hopefully.
Well, yeah. D'Lo doesn't know this yet. We're planning of having good friend of the show, Anthony De Lorenzo, on.
Member of Mac the Knife.
Member of Mac the Knife's infamous rock climber / neurosurgeon.
/ scarf wearer.
Yeah. / Italian stallion.
Yeah.
We're going to have him on next week as a guest, but Xander has brought to my attention that he has uni exams next week.
On both Monday and Wednesday.
Our podcast days.
Which are like affirmed podcast days, either the two. So,
But, Xander and I are not ones to just simply lie back.
no.
We're not ones to just throw in the towel and go, you know what?
We missed this week.
We missed this week. Unless we've been ripping and tearing too hard.
Yeah. That is kind of the only way.
The only time that it would be brought undone. But other than that,
Yeah.
we're not ones to lie back. So
We're taking on the challenge.
next week, hopefully, Anthony's going to step in as our
Co-host.
co-host.
And if not, no pod. Sorry. But yeah, that'll be exciting. That'll be fun. Because,
How did we get to Anthony?
we were talking about calling next week.
Yeah, okay. Well, me and Anthony will talk again about this situation.
Yeah, we'll keep the note on there so you guys can discuss
We
and
can discuss
hopefully
it.
get in touch with the man himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on for that.
I got something.
Go.
I got something I'd like to bring up.
Yeah, bring up.
And maybe you're one of these people. But the people that can ride a bike with no hands,
Impressive.
are they just the most alpha people in society?
It's pretty. I saw someone do it yesterday on an electric bike going quickly.
Dude, it's so impressive.
It's so impressive.
And I wouldn't say I'm someone who rides a bike, but I'm not someone who doesn't ride a bike. I've ridden many a bike in my time.
Yeah.
And I've never even come close.
I can one-handed. Can you drive?
I can one hand.
Yeah.
But the step from one hand to no hand is
Yeah.
it's a big step.
I find it super impressive when people can
You
do
see
that.
13, 14-year-old kids just riding around almost going they're doing a
like a
side to side on the road.
Yeah.
I saw someone coming down Urco Bridge, the main road in Erskineville.
No hands.
The main road. It's
Han-
a 2-lane street.
Yeah.
But no hands, just over the bridge in front of with 5 cars behind him going at speed.
That's pretty impressive.
And I was like, dude, that is so impressive.
well, you see it have you ever watched the Tour de France? They're in the peloton, they're gunning it, they're going they're keeping up with the peloton.
Yeah.
No hands, eating or drinking something. They'll be eating a wrapper. And
So
eating
impressive.
a protein bar and going 20, 30 Ks an hour.
That doesn't make sense in my mind.
It boggles the mind. I've tried to do it a couple of times and almost crashed when doing it. I've been riding. I wonder if I can do no hands. I feel like you got to be riding a lot to be able to do that.
I've been riding to work every day.
Right.
Work's not far. It's maybe a
Couple hundred
5-minute
meters.
walk or a 1-minute bike ride. So I
Yeah.
ride. And I've been starting to practice, if I can see if I can get to no hands. So stay tuned. I'm trying to go down to one finger, but as soon as I and I'm good, even with one finger, I can kind of ride.
You know what it
But as
is?
soon as I go like that, I don't know if it's my brain, but the bike just goes. Zoom.
You know what I think it is? Every time I've seen someone ride with no hands, they're sitting very upright. So I think you kind of got to keep your body still and
upright
while I think that kind of keeps you in balance.
That's a vibe thing, though.
That is a vibe thing, but
Yeah.
that's just what
That's your vibe.
that's my vibe of how I think it would work.
Yeah.
That's again my science behind things today. I've got no accreditations to be for anything. this is all speculative, but
yeah.
I think that's how it would work.
Isn't it impressive, though?
I find it super impressive.
Dude,
Yeah.
shout out to you guys.
Definitely. I reckon it's a massive power move. Massive power move.
Yeah, it's I'm better than you, and we just have to stand there like a schmuck and go, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I'm riding with 2 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm all about that 10 to 2, mate. So I'll stick with my 2-hand drive.
Are you a 10 and 2 in your car?
I'm a bit of a known 10 to 2 operator. And I'd hate to say it. I hate to say that publicly, but I've been known to 10 to 2 frequently. Just is what it is, mate.
Well, when I learned to drive manual as a 17-year-old, 98% of the motivation was to look cooler when I was driving.
Yeah.
So
Well, I drive it.
that's a torch I bear.
Not only do I drive an automatic, but I also drive 10 to 2. So yeah, I'm a fucking loser. Massive loser.
I think it's a bit of a stigma though.
What?
I don't know if I thought I was going to get more girls or something as a 17-year-old.
You drive manual.
Yeah, man.
See, that's what Jared said to me as well. And then he bought a Mazda 3 and learned manual. Like, how many girls you picked on this, mate? 0.
Does driving a Mazda 3 cancel out the fact that you drive a manual?
Maybe. But it's like, come on. So, yeah, I'm driving manual. Yeah, what car do you drive? I drive Mazda 3, mate. Oh, yeah, nice.
Pretty cool.
Like, if
right?
you're driving, like, a big ute or, like, something cool, you know, yeah, understandable. Like, even the Forester to an extent, bit of a
Dude, the
Steve.
Forester
Is a
is cool.
Steve's car.
It's a
I was going to
Steve's
say,
car, yeah.
I wasn't going to diss the Foria. I thought
Yeah.
I think they're a bit Steve's, but yeah, I don't know. The Mazda whatever holds up on the Steve's chart. That's
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
What about reversing? Do you hit it with the one? The
Oh, I
palm
one
on the
hand.
Yeah, you got to
I
one
do
hand that. I said better than mine.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's good.
Right. I love like that is like the motivation for you could just take in the easy way, but you're like, no, I really think this is going to be impressive, and then have impressed no one with the skill you decide to learn.
Yeah, jokes aside though, I also just like really wanted to learn manual. I think because both my parents drove manual,
That'll probably be mine.
so I was like, I kind of just it was just. And my mum told me this story one time where she was on a walk, like a lighthouse walk with her friend. And they were up the top of this lighthouse, and there was an older couple there, and the husband had had a stroke
Right.
at the top of the lighthouse. And mum had to drive the husband and wife to hospital. And she was the only one in the group that could drive manual. And it was the husband's car, which was a manual.
Oh, that's
And
lucky.
he couldn't drive.
Right.
And also there's a scene in Batman when he hands Commissioner Gordon the keys to the Batmobile.
Oh, that seems cool.
And he's like, do you drive stick?
Yeah.
So that's just in case I ever run into Batman.
Yeah,
I need to
just
drive
can
his
hand
car.
you the keys.
Yeah.
That is a good bit. That's a
It's like,
16.
do you drive stick? Yeah, I drive stick.
Yeah, drive stick.
I used to drive. I don't know if I've told this before, but when I worked at like the refereeing company I used to
Yeah.
work for when I was a referee, I was the only one in the group that could drive manual. So I ended up driving this. I would have been 17. I was on my red P's. I was 17 at the time, and I was driving this massive truck, like the massive moving truck with all the goals and stuff in the back of it.
Really? How was
Yeah.
that?
It was like the first time I did it, it was like kind of like etch. I was like, this is like kind of a big car. It was legal. We looked it up. It was legal because it was under the ton. It was a big truck.
It was a small, heavy vehicle.
It was a small, heavy vehicle. So it was legal. But yeah, I was the only one that could do it. So it was kind of etch. I guess it would have been funny because I was like the smallest kid there driving like
like the largest car.
the largest truck.
Yeah,
But the
that's so
owner,
good.
there was 2 owners and only one of the owners could drive it. So when he wasn't there,
It was on.
Oh,
It was
Cody-
your. It was
oh,
your
Cody
turn.
had to
to-
step up.
Yeah, right.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's gold. Speaking of driving, I was in the car with someone the other day. They were giving me a lift, and they're like, oh, I always drive Waze because I'm always trying to like figure out where the cops are. Because like I like to like sometimes I like speed and like go on like I'll like want to like check my phone or whatever. And I was in my head, I was going. Oh, sorry. Verbally, I said, like, oh yeah, like fair enough. In my head, I was going, why don't you just not speed and go on your phone while you drive? I feel like there's a really simple solution instead of like looking at ways.
Yeah.
You know, just like don't
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe just drive like the speed limit.
Yeah.
Crazy idea.
But I was getting a lift, so I was like, I can't really like,
You can't call him out.
I can't I can't really say anything right now because I'm like,
Was it the kind of friendship where you could joke about it? Or was it
not yet.
not yet?
Not yet. But I was just kind of like, maybe just go the speed limit.
The only time I chuck Waze on is like if I've been at the pub and I've had 2 beers
Right.
because I'm a small man. So like there's a chance that maybe my what's it called? It's
Blood
like it's an
alcohol.
acronym.
BAC.
BAC.
Blood alcohol content.
Yeah. When my BAC result would maybe sneak over 0.05. But it's never like I'm never driving in like a
But I don't think it does. Like if you have 2 schooners, I think that's what they say. If you have 2 in like an hour or whatever, like you're or
No, it's 2 standards. It's 2 standards, not two drinks. And a schooner's like 1.8.
is it?
Oh, it's like 1.6. Because a stubby's yeah, it is. What do you mean no? A stubby's a stubby or 2 is new is 1.4, and that's 375, and a schooner's 425. So it'd be like 1.6 or 1.7. It's
I didn't
bigger
know
than
that.
a stubby.
I didn't think about that.
It makes sense though, right?
Yeah, it does make sense.
So, and if you're not drinking a new, like let's say you're drinking something like maybe a little bit stronger, let's say you're drinking a 5% beer,
Yeah, sure.
then you're getting up into the two
but
standard.
4 pint for Stoner would be less.
Stoner would be less.
Yeah, true.
But I'm
I
not a
didn't know
fucking bitch. Dude, Stonerwood, I've kind of gone off it. I used to be a pretty big advocate for like this is one of the best beers, but I've kind of like
Is it because you've had it a lot?
nah. I think it's because like the pub I'm working at now just has so many like unreal
Yeah.
beers on.
True.
So I've kind of like gone away. I find Stonerwood to be just like a little bit like light.
I like my Stonewood as the opening beer to proceedings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're gonna have like a long night or a long day or whatever on the beers, like if you're at the pub
Yeah,
or
that's a good
wherever you
point.
are, like Stonewood's good just to like get you off the ground.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
something kind of just light, easy, enjoyable, just to kind of kick you off.
Well, you've always said Marcus Harris is the Stonerwood of cricket, so
How's that?
because he'll open and he'll get you off the ground.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's not going to go the whole day,
No, he won't.
but he'll get you moving.
He'll just get you moving. He'll get you up and going.
Was that too far fetched?
No, I actually enjoyed that. That was good. I've never heard that before, but I like it.
Well, I thought you were the one. I thought was that you not the one that said that?
No, I didn't make
Oh, I
that
thought
up.
that was
I
you.
I kind of hope I did make that up, but I can't take credit for that. I kind of like it.
No, you're right though. I agree because Stonerwood. I'm just to cancel out my own point that I just said. I've kind of gone off it, but it's still got its place.
Oh, it has a place.
It's got a place.
Yeah. I'll stick with Carlton Draft.
If one of my girlfriends was like, "I want to get a beer. What should I get?" I'd be like, "Get a Stonerwood." It's the most inoffensive of the beers with still like quite a nice flavor.
Yeah, true. It's like it's a beer for everyone because it's just like it's like that's why it's popular though. Why it's so popular because everyone enjoys it because like it's not too like hectic in terms of like heaviness and like like beer flavor.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, like some beer flavor I don't even like that much.
Do you know the one I can't get around is Carlton?
You still can't get around. That's like my favorite one.
Again, like if
my favourite
someone
beer.
bought me one, I would not complain. I'd be like, great, Carlton, I can drink a Carlton.
Yeah.
But I'm just never like I will never ever pick it.
Carlton Draft is my favorite
That's
one.
that's the bottom of the shit beers for me.
No way.
Shit beers. I use
No.
quotations.
Like Aussie pub beer.
Aussie pub beer.
Yeah. I thoroughly disagree.
I'd probably still go with Super Dry over it.
That's blasphemy. Sorry, that's not on.
I don't know.
That's not on.
I don't know what to tell you.
No,
Resh is still on through,
I'm
mate.
sorry. Rashes is probably like second, and then Tui's and then VB. But yeah, no, Carlton Draft are top for sure.
That's fair enough.
For sure.
It's an each their own kind of thing. They all kind of taste similar anyway, so who cares?
No, I reckon the others taste so chemically, but Carlton Draft doesn't.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll move on.
I this week I've kind of been, flirting with getting a haircut again. I think it's about that time for me. I don't want to let it get really long again like it used to be.
So, you know what? I'm in the same boat.
I was actually thinking today, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I kind of made a note. It's like it's getting time for Xander to get a haircut.
Yeah, you're right.
Should
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
You know what sucks though?
What?
Whether you want to admit it or not, when no one notices you got a haircut, because you're thinking, especially when you're thinking about, it, you're like, I got a haircut. I wonder if this person's going to notice, and they don't notice.
Or you think, does it look good? Does it like look? You know what I mean? Like because like you're getting a bit of head noise about it. I wonder if it like whatever.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need that first opinion to go, oh, it looks good. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm in the clear. I'm good.
Yeah. Or just like, oh, you got a haircut. Oh yeah, look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't look good, like even if someone just kind of is a bit like the first, maybe someone later be like, oh, that looks fucking a bit rogue. But like, truth be told, I've never got a rogue haircut in my life, but you know what I mean? Like it's nice if someone just goes, because on time at work, it was funny. I got a haircut. I went into work, right? And no one on like the only people that realized were just like, because usually you'd think like girls would notice that stuff more, but none of the girls really noticed. And it was just the guys went, oh, did you get a haircut? Like, and like everyone in the kitchen, oh, nice haircut, blah, blah, blah. But no one else, like none of the girls, no one noticed.
Dogs.
And it was so funny. But then
All the boys that got you, though.
all the boys got my back there. That was quality. But yeah, I feel like sometimes though if I get a haircut, it's just like a slightly shorter version of what I already
Well,
had.
sometimes it does happen, and sometimes you get one. You're like, fair enough if no one notices, but I'd still like them.
Yeah, it'd still be nice.
Yeah.
It'd still
Sue
be
me,
nice.
dude. Sue me.
The flower pot is sprouting though for you.
You reckon it's getting?
It's sprouting a bit. I reckon
Yeah.
that's about as long as you want it to be.
It's maxed out. Yeah, I'm gonna get it cut this week. I think. I usually with my haircuts, I've like been content going back to a hairdresser now.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to a hairdresser, and
And
then
you,
about,
because you hadn't been to a barber shop or anything before.
no, I hadn't. As discussed, I think we did.
We
talk
have
about
talked
it.
about this because you said
But I
it was
went
your first
back.
time.
And then like after 6 to 8 weeks, I can just like cut my own hair just to like
Trim it.
trim it just to give it another 8 weeks without spending $40.
True.
So I'm now at the end of that sort of 16-week period. I
Right.
think. I don't know if it's been 16 weeks. Feels like that in my mind.
It's been, but I know, like, because you want to get one like every 2 months.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've usually been longer, but yeah, for sure.
I usually go every 2 months. But I
We're both
I
at
definitely
that
need a
point.
haircut.
We're both at that point.
Yeah, I kind of have been getting a vibe to shave my head for the last few weeks. Like
I
it
reckon
comes
you
and
could.
goes. But I also just like hate that in between stage. And it looks so bad, the in between. And I'm just like, no. I also got a random thought. I'm like, what if I dyed my hair blonde? And I was like, no, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah,
like
don't
that
do
would that would look fucking rogue.
It'd look bizarre.
That honestly would look crazy. Like it would not suit me. But it just came in my head and I was like, should I do that?
No.
And then I was like, and like the other half of my brain went, no, do not do that.
I mean this in the most. I've said this to you before, but the way you present yourself is very like, you know, there's nothing. You're not going to shock anyone with what you wear or what you do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to buy a pair of Asics or a pair of like 3/4 shorts. You're not going to like go and pierce your earrings on a whim.
Yeah.
Pierce your ears on a whim.
Yeah, that's not really.
So if you dyed your hair blonde,
it would be a shock.
yeah,
Everyone would be
EJ
like, what?
EJ dyed his hair blonde. No, I was really shocked.
Yeah.
He does weird stuff sometimes. If you did it, everyone would be like, "What the fuck, dude?"
What? Why? Everyone would be like, why'd you do that? Yeah.
Do you know- You'd say that when I got
Maybe
my,
I should go for a rebrand and just do it and just like shave my head, get my ears pierced, dye my hair, start wearing rogue shit, and just go, yeah, I'm in a rebrand at the moment.
everyone would be like, "This guy's off. He's lost it."
Yeah,
He's lost
what was happening before wasn't working for me, so I just think I'm gonna change everything about myself.
He's lost the plot.
Yeah, and maybe I'll start being like the quiet, mysterious type as well.
Yeah.
Why'd you do this? And like, I don't know, just because I wanted to.
Yeah. That'd probably freak me out.
Yeah, I think that would really freak everyone out.
Yeah. Probably the fact that you just going quiet, mysterious would be you going quiet. Similar to me going quiet would be weird.
Problem.
You'd be like, is everything all good at home, dude?
Yeah, you're okay.
In saying that, I got my nose pierced like 3 weeks ago.
I know.
I reckon maybe like 6 people noticed.
To be fair, although I noticed and I went, "Oh, did you get your nose pierced?" I already thought you had one for some reason.
That's what everyone said.
like it wasn't like it like a shock. The shock thing you're talking about for me, like it was like one of the least surprising things I've ever seen. But it looks great.
Yeah, thanks.
But I just was like, I already thought it had already happened.
That's what everyone said.
Yeah.
Like I was actually at the Flora Street house and I was with D'Lo and Tully and I think Jared walked in and Jared went, "Oh, you got your nose pierced?" And D'Lo and Tully both went, "Dude, I'm gonna be honest, I thought that was always there." That was kind of the reaction. And I was kind of like, okay. I wasn't like offended or anything. I was like, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have the haircut thing. I wasn't like, oh, I hope people notice. I kind of like even forgot I had it. And then
Right.
people would be like, "Oh, your nose pierced." And I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon like maybe 2 people from work noticed. My mum and you.
And that was it.
And Jared.
And that was it.
That was it.
What did your mum say?
Josh, she hated it.
Oh, yeah.
She hated it. It's been a long time coming, but it was, you know.
Yeah. You're in your rebellious stage. You got a nose
Ah,
piercing.
yeah, I'm a bit of a
And your
rebel,
mum
it's
didn't like
whatever.
it. Oh, yeah. This bloke is fucking hardcore, guys.
Yeah,
Dude, this guy's seriously hardcore.
look, I'm pretty edgy. I didn't want to say it out loud.
Yeah,
It's whatever.
Yeah, is what it is, mate. Is what it is.
It did. It fucking hurt, though. I tell you
Did
how
it?
much. Yeah, it really hurt.
Well, everything hurts for you, mate. You got, like discussed, your pain tolerance is not the best. Let's be honest.
It's not the best.
Like, did you like wince? Were you like,
Yeah, it is a really wincing pain because it like everyone says like the side of your face it's connected to like it's like a really really hard pinch.
I
So-
suppose as well, if you get hit in the nose, like your eyes well
Yeah.
up straight away.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the first thing that, like, if you get hit square in the nose, like,
yeah,
you're gonna well up.
yeah.
Yeah.
My friend from work told me her roommate got hers pierced on a night out, and because she'd been drinking, the alcohol like thinned her blood. So when it got pierced, it just started spraying blood out of her nose. How etch is that? Yeah.
That's pretty hectic.
Yeah, I know, right?
That would probably. Would you reckon that would happen a lot or not really?
I don't know. Probably not. I assume the person who was piercing the ear or piercing the nose would have been like, because it would have been at night, would have been like, have you been drinking tonight? She would have been like, yes. And they probably would have been like, okay, well, there's a chance this is going to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how common it is. It mustn't have been that common if they still did it.
You mean it must be common or not common?
No, I feel like the piercer would have gone, oh, there's a chance it could happen, but,
Never really.
it should be
does.
all right.
Yeah.
How many drinks he had? 5? They might have lied about the drinking.
Yeah.
Again, I'm speculating here.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can move on.
We can move on. Should we? You're at 50 minutes now.
Anything else you want to bring up? What do we got here? We have a bit of time today, so we may as well use it.
Look, I'm
You go.
actually. I'll come clean. I wrote this in 2 weeks ago. I do have a bit. I have a bit of like a nerdy confession
Yeah.
of like. So, Lord of the like. I haven't watched the Lord of the Rings series yet, but I love Lord of the Rings stuff. Love my Game of Thrones. Started watching the new series of the Game of Thrones, House of Dragon.
You're saying you love the themes, but you haven't watched it.
I haven't watched the new Lord of the Rings series.
Okay.
But my nerdy confession to coincide with that is I love on YouTube to watch like the history of like those like the set like the universes that they're set in and like the lands that they set in. It's like I'd be like when it comes up, I recommend like the history of Middle Earth and like the Second Age or something, or like the history of Sauron or something. I'm like,
What
yeah.
are those places?
That's like Middle Earth is like where Lord of the Rings is set, and
Right.
Sauron's like the villain.
Okay.
I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this for 15 minutes. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
gonna, or like it'd be like if it was Game of Thrones, you'd be like the backstory of like Westeros and
Yeah.
shit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Like
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
and like one of the accounts is literally called like Nerd of the Rings, and then the other one is I can't remember the Game of Thrones one, but it's like it's good. It's like an audiobook though, almost with like a visual as well.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty lame.
It is lame. It is kind of lame. Not gonna lie, it's probably one of the lamer things I do, but I enjoy it a lot.
Do you think nerds, like I think people who are considered nerds and who are your traditional nerds, right? Gamers. I imagine glasses. I don't know why, but you know what I mean. Lord of the Nerd. What is it called? Nerd of the Rings.
Yeah,
Like they're obviously self-aware that they're nerds. Do you reckon they're like pumped about being a nerd?
yeah, they love it, mate.
Do you reckon they love it? They're
Like
yeah,
think
I'm a
about
nerd.
like Comic-Con and stuff. Like, have you not seen what Comic-Con is? It's like like that's like the gathering of like the nerd, like one of the like
the nerdiest people.
like nerdiest people and nerdiest things you can do. But like they love it,
yeah,
and that's why, that's why they do it. And like being nerdy and like being a gamer now, you can make good money off it. And like YouTube, like that guy probably makes decent money off
Totally.
doing those YouTube
Oh,
videos
yeah.
because he has like some of them have like heaps of subs. Like there's this one guy who does like breakdowns of like trailers and like movies and stuff and like TV shows, whatever. And I started watching his videos. He had like 500,000 subs, which is still a lot. That's still a lot of subs. Maybe it was even a bit less than that. He now has like 4 or 5 million.
yeah.
And he like does advertisement and stuff. Like it's not like in his videos he doesn't swear or do anything like controversial. So it's like he would be able to get the full capabilities of like the YouTube revenue. There's ads on all his videos. There's like internal ads on the videos that like he will be advertising something. Maybe even his own merch. Like I reckon he'd be making good money.
There's a crowd for it for sure.
Oh, there's massive. Because like, well, look, mate, I fucking now that it's out there, I'll watch it if there's something I'm like kind of interested in. I'm like, yeah, because it gives you a good understanding of like when you watch show or movie, like a deeper understanding of like the character and stuff as well of like everything. So it
Yeah.
kind of like it gives you a more. Anyway, that's my nerdy confession.
It's funny though, like I was talking to Kate about it the other day, and we were like, it's funny how everyone just likes what they like, and everyone likes different things. Like it's funny how like you can like eggs and I can hate eggs.
Do you actually no?
No, it's just
No,
an
okay, I
example.
was gonna
That's
say.
an example.
Right, I was actually.
But it's funny, like again, it's like you
should have
like,
opened with that.
yeah. Sorry, sorry, this is an example. Cricket, for example, a lot of people are split over cricket. You either love it or you hate it, sort of thing.
True.
I just find that I don't know, it's kind of dribbly, but it's super interesting.
I guess
And
it's just
everything,
like that's just like the whole essence of like everyone's personality is somewhat different.
but
And, like,
everything you like, you think is the best.
yeah,
I think
True.
rugby league is the best sport.
yeah.
For example,
Because if you love it, you're like that. Yeah, it's sick. I
it's
love
the
doing
best.
that. Yeah. Well, you're not going to take interest in saying, yeah, actually, it's kind of shit.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone just like. It is kind of funny how that happens actually. Like it is a bit of a dribbling.
Like I imagine two twins who were born and raised the exact same, right? Like they've been in the same classes going through school. They've been
Same house,
They've been
but
put into
everything.
basketball and soccer at 6 years old, and then they can both totally just go in different directions. It's bizarre.
It is bizarre. You'd think they would be very similar, but yeah.
I actually read an interesting thing the other day. It was a thread on Twitter, and it was like the opening of the thread was like no two children have the same parents, and it's like
What?
So I'll talk you through it, right? Like the first child is born, the parents have been married for 5 years, their relationship's perfect at the time. This kid's the golden child. They raise him, they both put all their effort into it.
Yeah.
Second child's born, 4 years
There's
later.
different vibe.
The parents' relationship is different. Maybe at this time the parents' relationship is tumultuous.
It's just different. It's changed.
It's totally different. But
Yeah.
the economic situation might have changed. They might be better off or they might be worse off from when they were 4 years ago. The attention now, instead of this second child receiving 100% of the attention, they're going to receive 50.
yes.
So they're receiving
Okay.
less. The situation's different. And, and the parents' relationship might be different. Not only that, but they're the younger child. So they've got a sibling. And now the older sibling's going to act different because he's the oldest and he's got a younger sibling. So it's just very interesting.
actually, that is. I never thought about it like that.
It's super interesting. And that's why, I don't know, middle children or younger children or older siblings develop different, personalities or different traits or, different behaviors for.
I said to people before, I'm like, oh yeah, they're like, do you have any siblings? I'm like, yeah, I got an older brother, younger sister. Like I'm a middle child. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you have massive middle child energy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah,
Massive.
They're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So does Jared.
Yep. That is true, actually. He does.
Do you think what energy do you think I have? I guess I've been thought I was the youngest before.
No, you're pretty. Old. Yeah, old. It's kind of sensible, I guess. And like, yeah, oldest. I'd say.
You get oldest?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, that's good. Dude, you can just move the.
Yeah, I know, but I had it in the perfect spot, and I thought I could get it back. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I reckon. Yeah, oldest for sure.
I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. It totally makes sense because it's like, yeah, you have the same parents, but you also don't.
Yeah. No, I think that it does make the way you've explained it makes sense.
I wonder if-
I've just never thought about it like that.
I wonder if it recenters, I imagine now, me and my two siblings have the same parents because, we've now become accustomed to, a certain way of life and a
dynamic.
certain dynamic in the family.
Yeah.
But I guess the way you're treated by each parent is different.
True.
Not better.
But that's based off
not better.
personality as well.
Exactly. Not better or worse, just different.
Yeah, right. No, that's a valid
so
point.
that's
actually.
interesting.
No, I've actually that is an interesting point you raised. I've never really thought about it like that before. Yeah. Nice.
Bit of introspective barflies today.
Damn. Getting deep on the barflies before the back page. Cody dropping bombs before we hit the back page.
Well, I
today.
just
that's the think piece. That's the think piece.
I just thought I'd try and ground us again after the poo chat.
It's probably a good. It's all about balance. It's probably a good thing that you did that actually.
All right, well let's
Just pulled us back to
pulled us back in line
into some level of credibility before we. Yeah.
before we finish up. Well, let's hit the back page. I'm actually really hungry. I made a smoothie before we started, and I only drank half because it was kind of shit.
I disagree. I actually thought it was pretty
Banana
tasty.
and mango.
I'd
You know
love-
what my problem was?
What?
My oat milk, because it hadn't been open, was in the cupboard. So I think my smoothie was kind of warmer than I would have liked it to
You
be.
should have put some ice in there.
I did, and by the time you drank it, the ice had probably melted and made it colder.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was pretty tasty. To be perfectly, to be perfectly candid, I thought it was delicious.
It needed a bit of honey or something.
Oh, you know what? Before we got to the back page, I was telling Cody,
Who?
you.
Oh, you were telling me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just talking.
Well, I'm going to bring it up now because
Okay.
we were discussing it before,
No, that was a weird way to say it, though. You were kind of like talking to me, but you were...
but like in the past tense. But it was a conversation that Cody and I had
Okay.
previously,
Sure, I'm with
only
you.
about an hour and a bit ago, about Weiss bars.
Oh, yeah.
And I was saying that the Weiss bar is already a top tier ice cream. And then they released a macadamia Weiss bar where it was a Weiss bar with macadamias throughout. And I was saying on the Venn diagram of like taste, you got like a Weiss bar and then you've got a top tier ice cream and a top tier nut. And they've just like Venn diagram and you just had like excellence in the middle. And that's what's happened. I just reckon it's better than most ice creams you'll get from a genuine gelato shop or anything like that. And instead of paying $6-7, it costs $4 or $4.50.
To that, I said, Xander, you eat your mee goreng with the water in it,
Yeah,
so you've got no credibility.
but I stand by that too. But this isn't me just like you thinking I'm being stubborn. Like this is genuine. Like I think if anyone has tried the macadamia Weiss bar, they will know. They will know.
I'll say this about the Weiss bar. I think it's contextual. I wouldn't eat it. I probably wouldn't like enjoy a Weiss bar after dinner as much as I'd enjoy like. Hear me out. I probably wouldn't enjoy a Weiss bar after dinner as much as I'd enjoy like a Ben and Jerry's ice cream or like a mint chocolate Magnum because they're my favorite. I just wouldn't. However, if I was at the beach or I'd been at the beach and I was heading home and I had to stop by the servo to get a raspberry Slurpee and it was accompanied by a Weiss bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll hear you out.
I get what you're saying. I just still disagree. I think Weiss bars at any time kind of thing.
That's subjective though. This is exactly what we were just talking about. You think it's the best. That doesn't mean it is the best.
It is. Fucking is.
Okay.
No, I'm telling you though.
Well,
Try one.
is it still a thing? The macadamia
I'm
one?
gonna suss one out. I'm gonna suss them out and I'm gonna bring them and you're gonna have to try it. I'm
If
gonna make
I'm
you
gonna
eat
look-
it. I'm gonna make you eat it in the middle of the day. Even on like a really shit rainy day.
Yeah.
And then you just watch your face light up with the delight and the sensation that the taste is of the macadamia Weiss bar. Okay, I had to get that out.
Okay, I'm glad we got past
Yeah,
that.
I had to get it off my chest. Okay, back page. We finally got it here. Back page. We said let's go back page 3 times. We're here now.
Let's get the Rugby League World Cup out of the way because it's getting stinky.
Okay, Rugby League World Cup. I agree very much with what you were saying before. It's the group stage of the Rugby League World Cup has actually made me lose interest in it a little bit.
I don't remember it being this bad last time round. Do you?
No, I remember it being like a lot closer. But I think because some of the other teams have also gotten much better, so it's meant that there's more games where it's like dead rubbers, and they're more. They're very like. There's a lot of groups for what it is for how many teams they have.
Where do they get the Jamaican players from? I would love to know.
I don't know, but I kind of like how there's team like team like that's just in there.
It's exciting for them. I think they should do like a. I saw it on something this morning. They should do a World Cup qualifier for those sides.
Well, this is the thing, okay? And like I'm still watching the games and everything, but so the Rugby League World Cup, I think, should take a note out of the Cricket World Cup. So what they do is they have 8 teams. You might not be able to do that for rugby league, but for cricket they have 8 teams that are the top 8 in the world at that point,
You could do that for league.
straight in.
Yep.
Straight into the competition,
Yep.
right? The next 8 teams, right, get put into 2 groups and then they play off and then the 2 top teams of those groups of 4 go into the Super 12. And then that Super 12 gets split into 2 groups and then the top 2 from those groups, like 1 and 2, then verse each other, semi-final, final.
Yeah.
That way you don't have groups, because it's like groups for rugby league now, it's groups, quarters, semis, final. If it was like that, like for the cricket, yeah, there's a lot more round games, but it means like the games mean more like in the round competition. So
Yeah.
there's like, and then there's more big matches, like more bigger matchups.
Yeah.
It's not just like, the big games don't happen in the finals. They happen in the groups, which keeps people engaged. Like in cricket, for example, Pakistan, India played an absolutely amazing game. South Africa and India last night also played a great
won?
game. South Africa won.
Oh.
And then India beat Pakistan on the last ball of the game.
Wait, who did South Africa beat?
So India's played 2 really good games. The first one, they versus Pakistan. India won that game,
Yeah.
like on the last ball of the game.
Oh, gotcha.
And then the game the other night, South Africa won with 2 balls to spare, but it
Okay.
was really close the whole
Yeah.
game. And that I just feel like that is a better way. If they transferred that kind of concept to the Rugby League World Cup, I think it would be a good way to do it. You
I
know,
agree.
because there's still games where it'll be dominant, but then there'll still be an element of like engagement for people. Because that way you could have like, you know, Australia, for example, Australia, England, Samoa in one group, and then the other would be New Zealand, Tonga, and Fiji.
Yeah.
You know, like 3 pretty like stronger teams in the
Yeah.
comp. You know, that's just my opinion on it.
Agreed. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could do the 8. You go Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, Samoa, England, Fiji, Lebanon.
France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe make it 6.
Yeah.
Maybe make
And
it
then
6.
and then you get 2 to play in.
Fiji and Lebanon are only really strong.
Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, Papua New
Not
Guinea
good,
could
not
be
bad
there.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've been in and around for a while. And then you can do Greece, France, Ireland,
Cook
all those
Islands
other
and
teams,
stuff, all
Cook
play
Islands,
off.
yeah. And then they can come in and just get towed up.
Yeah. But I feel like that's a much better way to do it.
Yeah.
Because that means like at least every round there's like more of an engagement factor.
Yeah.
The only thing that why it wouldn't work for rugby league is because it doesn't have the same turnaround as cricket. Like that you can play a game of T20 cricket 2 days after each other. Like 48 hours later you can play it. You can't do that in rugby league. You know? Like you can't go and play a game like 3-4 days up. You got to wait.
Yeah.
So it'll just like draw.
It's
It'll draw
hard.
it out a little bit. I
Yeah.
think it'll draw out the group stage a little bit, but it also, yeah, it's a hard one to get right.
Yeah.
It is. It's a tough
Something needs to be addressed before
Yeah.
the next one rolls around, that's for sure.
one. Because
There's honestly nothing really to talk about this week.
no, but
Everyone's just been pumping teams by like 50 plus.
yeah, exactly, and it's not like that's like the one thing about the football World Cup, like the soccer World Cup, that's so good is every group there's at least 2. What is there 8 groups, and in every group there's at least 2 good teams in each one, and then there's always a chance that even like a team that's not as strong can upset them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're
That third team can upset the second team sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is like kind of is what makes there's always like 1 or 2 teams that kind of go way better than everyone thinks.
Yeah.
Which I actually think this year that'll be like South Korea or something.
Did you see Messi go down the other day?
No.
For PSG?
Or injured.
He like had the ball at his feet and he kind of like pulled up and sat down on the ground. And like even as I was watching it, I was like,
Yeah,
no. And like you can see all the crowd go, holy shit, like
because he'd be out for the World
because
Cup.
he'd be out for the World Cup.
No,
and then
he'd
like as he
play.
sits down, he just puts his boot had fallen off. And
Oh,
everyone's like, oh my God, thank God.
yeah, wow.
Dude, they need to rest him, mate. PSG.
Yeah,
Put him on the bench.
I reckon you'll see teams start maybe. Well, actually, that links nicely into.
I don't think.
I was talking about the football because I think teams.
What were you going to say then? I want to hear.
Well,
what you
I
were
was
gonna
going to say maybe like.
I don't think any teams would target Messi to get him out of the World
No,
Cup.
no, I'm saying I think like you might see big teams with big players, like maybe rest. Like, would you reckon any teams would rest big players, or players would ask to get rested to play in the World Cup?
I don't know how that would work. It's a good point. Like Mo Salah, for example.
Well, like or Messi, Mbappe, Neymar, like going to be 3 of the biggest stars of the World Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo,
Last chance to win.
last chance. Like those players don't want to be injured, and like those. But it's kind of hard because also those players, well, especially those players that are playing in like quite close and high level competitions, can't like some of the teams they play in, they can't afford to lose.
It's
You know.
hard because they got to win games to win the
Yeah.
league. The Champions League's on at the moment.
Yeah,
like-
because think about how close the EPL is right now.
yeah.
There's not that much room in between a lot of the teams. It's starting to break up a little bit now, but it's still close.
Yeah. When's the first
So-
date of the World Cup?
21st.
21st November. 3 weeks.
Wow. So
Awesome.
yeah, I think I think
there'd be a little bit of
it'll
that going on.
Yeah, I think so. I think players and like player agents and stuff would be going like, nah, he wants to play in the World Cup. He can't get injured. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I could see that maybe happening.
When do the competitions cease?
But you'd think they'd have to cease like 2 weeks before.
Probably this week.
After, you'd think they'd have another week maybe. Because the teams have to go into camp
That's what I'm saying.
and like train and
Well, let's
stuff.
say they play one more week and they cease on the 7th of November. That'd give them 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think that would probably be pretty fair. But yeah,
Let me
pumped.
see if I can find it.
Pump for the World Cup. Australia and we'll just jump back to the Cricket World Cup. Sorry, we're kind of switching in between.
What do we want?
three
Let's
right
just
now.
do soccer while we're here.
Okay.
Let's do football while we're here. When do football competitions cease?
I will say this about the football at the moment. If anyone is following the European leagues, in the Champions League, some of the teams dropping down into the Europa, it is going to make it so spicy. Like Ajax is dropping down. I think Inter might be dropping down. You got Juve dropping down, and you got Barcelona all dropping down into Europa League.
Oh,
Sevilla, I think, as well, dropping into
Right.
Europa League. How good is that going to be? That's going to
Right.
make that. It's going to make it so spicy.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, it's going to make the Europa League spicy.
yeah, because they all came third in their groups.
Who
and
did
then
you
they all
say?
dropped down.
Barca, Juve.
Barca, Juve. I think Sevilla are going down as well. Ajax, and I think Inter Milan.
Well, that's just at this stage of the season, right?
Yeah, but there's only one game left, so some people are confirmed out
Is it the season? Wait, what do you mean?
for Champions League groups.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
And then because they come third, then they drop down.
Right. How do I see the? I want to see the table for the BBVA. Barca second,
Yeah, by how much though?
like 10 points.
Yeah, Real Madrid ripping.
Yeah, but they won't drop to the Europa League.
No, in the Champions League. Because when you come third in the
You're talking
Champions
about in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I was confused.
No.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't know that.
If you come
To
third
be
in
honest,
your
I actually
group,
had no idea how the Europa League works.
if you come... well, the Europa League is like the teams that come fourth and sixth. But then in the actual league. But then if in the Champions League, if you drop out and you come third in your group, you get a second chance in the Europa.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have to like play off against some of the other Europa teams before.
Okay. So now that they've bombed out of the Champions League, they will join the Europa League.
Yeah.
Interesting. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's been happening. Yeah. Didn't
I'm
you
sure
know that?
No.
There you go.
The more you know.
Yep.
Fake
Yeah.
fan.
Fake fan, mate. But yeah, EPL's heating up, especially United. Although I'm a United fan, I'm a bit biased, but they have actually been playing better than usual recently. They've been like holding the ball, creating more chances. They haven't been scoring as much as you might want them to, but I feel like if you just play a good style, the goals will kind of come at some point.
Yeah, agreed.
But they've been kind of definitely looking better than they've looked in a while in terms of like style of play.
It looks like
and, like-
Casemiro's made a pretty big difference.
Yeah, like the game against West Ham yesterday, they won 1-0, and that's West Ham have like a pretty strong midfield, and that's the games that we'd usually lose because we'd usually lose the midfield battle because they got like Declan Rice and stuff.
Yeah.
But Casemiro, being the man he is,
Yeah.
stepped up. Didn't matter. You know,
It's good to see.
I am,
good to see.
I am enjoying it. Touch on the NBA real quick, if you're still hanging around.
Yeah, we'll touch on it.
NBA, first like 5 or 6 games for most teams who've played. It's kind of been an interesting, because like 6 games in the scheme of the year is not a lot considering they play like 70 something. They play like heaps of games.
I play a lot.
But some teams that were expected to struggle have actually been playing really well. And then there's some teams that, you know, that are expected to do well have actually not been playing. Like the Lakers and Brooklyn, 2 good examples. Have great teams, have not been playing very well. And a team like, which is for Brooklyn, I think that doesn't matter. I think their team will come good. Like I think it'll be sweet. But for the Lakers, it's more worrying because I think the West will be harder for them to sneak into a playoff with a bad start. Because you got like teams that, like a good example would be like a team like Portland, right? Who've last 2 years have been missing their best player and not very good. They've kind of been dropping in and out of playoffs. But then this year have got him back and they've been playing really well. They've started the year 5-1, while the Lakers, they were winning just when we started. But say they start their first game 1-5, they got to catch. They got like 5 games to catch them. Do you know what I mean? So I think like that's not a good way to start, you know, because that's the thing about how much work it is to get back to that level. So it's been an interesting start. Some of the young players going off. This rookie, so the number 1 draft pick from last year, Pablo. I'm not going to get his name right. Anyway, he plays for Orlando. Begins with a B, but I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm not going to try and say it. He's been like lighting it up. Like he's been averaging like 20 something points, like 7 rebounds and like 4 or 5 assists, which is like for a rookie.
Yeah.
First year.
Yeah.
Beast.
It's pretty
Like
beast.
that's like gun.
Yeah.
That's gun.
Yeah.
And this year there's like, so next season, so the year, okay, NBA year hadn't even started the season, and there's this draft pick for next year called Victor Wembanyama. Okay, he's 7'3", is like
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Is he the college kid?
yeah. Is French, is athletic, like so can jump and he can play. He's got great handles. He can defend and he can shoot 3. So he's got like a pretty rounded game for like a rookie. And he's 7'3", and he's tipped to be the most exciting draft pick since LeBron.
Yeah.
Right. So the teams, everyone's just going like, well, everyone's just going to try and tank this year.
Yeah.
Like teams that are not doing well or are kind of shit, they're like, well, they're just going to tank because they're going to try and get him.
Yeah,
Because if you come last and you get the draft pick, number 1 draft pick, like
That's so interesting. Surely there's some like legality things that come in there. Like teams just
the
throwing the
commission,
towel in.
yeah, the commissioner, like there was like a thing where the commissioner was like, no, teams will not be tanking, like they are like to compete, blah blah blah. But you kind of also think like,
Yeah, what can I do?
like if you were playing badly the last 2 years and you picked up 2 decent rookies in the draft, like 2 top 10 first round picks, and then you kind of were like, well, we're gonna be bad again. Like, why don't we just not have a good year again? Like, you know, if you could get away with it, you'd tank.
Yeah.
Because he's like crazy good.
Yeah.
Crazy. Look at his highlight videos. That's all I'll say to anyone. Victor Wembanyama. He is a freak.
That's not the CDM from Tottenham.
No, it's
Not to be confused. All right. We pretty much done here?
We wrapped up. I'm wrapped up.
Cool. Because I got work in less than an hour.
Let's go.
Music this week. Been spinning the Cranberries a fair bit this week. Shout out the Cranberries. Dreams. Will be added to the playlist that has been updated. It's actually, I've already added it.
Oh, mate.
I've already
this
put it
bloke.
in.
Hey?
It's a new chapter for the
Look
Laugh
at him
Lives.
go.
It's a new chapter.
Look at him go.
We'll be in touch with what's happening next week. R.E. Xander.
Yep.
Or we just won't be in touch and they'll just be
You'll find out.
It'll just be Anthony.
You'll
next
find
week.
out when you get here.
Or someone else. Who knows? Or maybe they won't be in it. We'll see. They'll probably be in
They'll
it.
be in it. They'll be in it.
They'll be in it.
They'll be in it. We'll get it done.
We'll get it done. All right. Done? Do you want me to wrap it? Do you want me to wrap it?
That thrown me, you just yelling that, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
I'm so hungry.
My brain's going to melt. All right.
My name's Cody.
My name's Alexander.
Bye.
See you later.